Good morning, everyone. Jesse Webb, TradersPro. Market conditions still stabilizing here towards the bottom. Shorter term uptrend. We're running into some resistance, as we talked about yesterday. Our conditions still are bullish, though, in a bear market. And decent bounce off the bottom over this last couple of months, and now this is the situation that we're dealing with right now, as we're at the upper range of that that upper range of the current shorter term trend. We're seeing that across the board now in terms of momentum up in this upper range, breadth in the upper range, and sentiment in the upper range. The sentiment typically has stayed up in the upper range until we get I've been kind of surprised actually that we haven't seen it dip down into these levels. During this last counter trend move, we didn't get a lot of bearish sentiment in there. So, or at least as much as we typically see at a major bottom. So we'll see if that ends up coming back into play, and if we're running into some shorter term resistance right here in the short term on across the board on those indicators. Our buy sell ratio is still looking, relatively strong. Definitely not up into this upper range, but this was a pretty strong range, pretty strong bounce for that bottom that we had in August versus these these highs that we had back here throughout the year, the rallies that we saw during this bear market. So this is a decent kind of confirmation move that we're getting some participation in that. We talked about this yesterday, sentiment in that upper range that is also corresponding to the upper range on direction alerts. Sorry for the scrolling there. One other thing to utilize, just a quick glance of what's working, is if you click on the Muscle ETF scan and go to this and just kind of eyeball this and look through, and you can see oil and gas, energy, oil and gas, some oil, big oil, energy, natural gas. You can just glance through. These are all different ETFs. Some of them are leveraged where they're 2x or 3x. But the ones that are working will rise to the top. So it's a good idea to look through those and see which trends are there. In this case, you're getting a lot of, just a lot of crossover, but nonetheless, the idea, the point that what is working, what is trending, then you can go in and look at those ETFs, or you can go in and you can find individual stocks on that. But these are going to be your strongest locations. Again, that's the whole point of what we're looking for, is what is working, what is trending, what is moving higher, and let's continue to play that game until it stops working and something else starts working. That being said, a stock I've got to look at today is yet again another BioMed. BioMed stocks are really taking off right here. There's been several that we've looked at. This is a pretty big move, and again, coming out of this counter trend move and a good breakout, good strong move, up about 12% yesterday. Sometimes that makes it a little bit harder for entry, because I like to use this entire bar or even the low as your risk profile. So setting a stop below this when you get a real strong move like this up into those extremes, sometimes you can't quite get your stop loss in a location that doesn't create more risk than you want. That being said, what I've talked about before is you have to adjust your position size then. If you have to set your stop loss below a technical level, in this case below this bar, and 12% for that trade makes too big of risk for your overall account size, then you just got to go in with less shares. Those are the two things you can control: your stop loss location and the number of shares that you're buying to create your position. So keep an eye on this one today. We'll see if it provides a little bit of a pullback here, but biotech, biostocks definitely moving. If you don't have full access to the site, I've got a link for you below to go ahead and get signed up. Look forward to having you. Have a great trading day.